Hi, thank you so much for coming back. We are just wrapping up the 5 elements of awareness, and I want us just to review those briefly because they're all super important. When we think about the 5 seasons of relationships, we really do know, are we in winter? Are we in spring? Are we in summer? Are we in fall? Are we at the crossroads, right? We know the seasons now. But when we think about the 5 elements of awareness, they are a little bit harder to hold on to. They're not quite as immediate in our minds. Because when we think about attachment issues, we're talking about things that would have happened 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago in our lives, right? Those were the places in which we first learned about love, from watching the people around us, from understanding it in our culture and in our, in our neighborhoods and in our households. So attachment theory isn't something that we think about every day, but you can see how it matters, right? How understanding your love story evolution has impacted where you are today. The next thing is our core values, which really, we don't think about our core values when we make decisions, when we have to jump in and say, yes, we'll do something, or no, we won't do something. Yes, I want it. No, I don't. We just react from that place, or we respond from that place of knowing. But that place of knowing was planted in us, right? Our core values were planted in us before we turned 7. And we've been operating on these same core values our whole lives. So it's important to know what they are and to know what our partner's core values are. So what we can find as the shared values is the starting place in our shared garden to start building something magical, right? When we don't know our core values, we really can't start the conversation because we don't know where we're coming from. We don't know what's important to us, what we fight for, what we champion, the things we hold true about the world. This is different than just, oh, I believe, the earth is round, for example. No, this goes deep, deep, deep into how everything in your life is affected. So core values is a really big deal. The next piece, of course, is our communication style. And as we talked about, it is our body language and our verbal communication. So there are multiple ways in which we communicate with our partners, and we really have to look at what those styles mean for us. Certain people thrive in certain communication styles. Certain people struggle. And it doesn't actually define the love you feel or the emotion you feel, because the communication style is a layer on top of the emotion, right? So sometimes we need to rework the communication style or practice new techniques to better encapsulate how we actually feel. And if you think about a small child, they don't know all the words for hurt, embarrassed, humiliated, shocked, disappointed. They only know bad. Mommy, I feel bad. And you're like, oh my gosh, what is it? Do you have a boo-boo? Did someone hurt your feelings? Like, help me understand the context of bad. This is similar when we're in love relationships because we don't practice all of the things that we feel. We don't know all the words that we might feel. And some people have a higher emotional quotient than others, so they have access to more words. But if you have a partner or you yourself don't know all the words to your emotions, your communication might be a little bit skewed because the word you're using and the word they're hearing and the body language you're giving off could all be in opposition to each other. And so there's confusion, right? So communication style really helps us hone in on how we communicate and what our style is and what our partner's style is, so we can find ways that we overlap. The next section we talked about was personality type, because it matters, right? Who we are as people matters to our relationship. We could be very outgoing and big personalities and loud and boisterous and up all night and, really going with the nocturnal vibe. And your partner could be a quiet, serene early bird, right? That does not mean the relationship can't work. That does not mean that there should be conflict over, do you get up early and go for a hike, or do you stay up late and go out dancing, right? But it does mean more conversation has to happen once you know your personality types. And there are tons of assessments. I don't think any of them rise up for me as being more definitive than another. But if you have taken personality tests, look at what it tells you and just say, oh my gosh, it did not occur to me that me taking this personality assessment for my job, where it tells me that I am a quick start and I jump on ideas really quickly, could impact my partner who thinks a little bit slower, needs a little bit more time to process all of the components before they commit. I just thought they were being difficult or holding out on me. But in actual fact, those are our parts of personality that dictate how we operate in the world. Conflict resolved, because now you know, right? Awareness is 100% of the key. And the last thing we talked about was our intimacy plan. What are the 7 layers of intimacy, and how did those interact with each other to create the love story we have and the love story we can have, right? There might be something you guys are doing fantastic with, and there might be an area where you and your love partner are struggling. We need to talk about those 7 layers of intimacy so you can say, you know what, we've got these totally covered. But this is where I feel a little distrust, or I feel a little shaky, or I feel a little disconnected, right? Can we work on this? Can we make a plan on how to be more intimate in our finances or in our spiritual lives, or whatever that may be for you? So the 5 elements of awareness are very much, kind of foundational pieces that support the whole 5 seasons world. And I'm so grateful you were on this journey with me through the 5 elements of awareness. And I hope that doing some of the worksheets really created opportunities for ahas, right? For, oh wow, I did not see that. I did not know that. I am blown away by knowing this about my partner, because it really is changing how we interact and how we come together and how we hold space for each other and how we can be more compassionate. Because we need all the love and compassion we can have sometimes as we face external winter storms and winter storms in our relationships. So thank you for this section. I will see you in the next video for the wrap up, but we are almost done. Please work on your worksheets, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.